when it comes to trading, you hear people talk about candlestick patterns all the time. If you just look on the internet and you type in candlesticks, you're gonna see a million different patterns out there that you need to memorize, and it can get super overwhelming. And that's why in this video, I'm gonna go over the only candlestick pattern that you really need to know when to actually enter a trade. So this is literally the only thing I look at when it comes to candles. I don't look at anything else, and it makes it super simple just to focus on this one pattern and recognize it, get familiar with it in order to get a really high probability confirmation to get into your actual trade. And when it comes to trading in the market, you need to know one very important thing. And what that one important thing is the only people who move the market are the big institutions, the big money, the big banks, the big hedge funds. And I'll tell you one thing, those people are not looking at candlestick patterns. They don't care about candlestick patterns. What they do is they trade off of volume and they follow where money goes, right? So they see if there's a bunch of buyers getting in, they want to get in too, and all the algorithms are going to follow that. And that's what makes price move from one level to another level so fast. Okay, so the way I think about candlesticks and the pattern that I'm going to be showing you shows you when the big money just got in, because we're not going to just use this candlestick pattern, but we're going to use it with volume. Okay, so we want to kind of combine the two. And that's going to give us the highest probability to enter a trade at a key support level or at a key resistance level. Okay, so let's go and go over what that is. Then I'll show you an example of a real trade that I took this morning that ended up making me around $6,400 on my trade today. This is the only trade I took. As you can see, I do trade in 20 different accounts, so that's why there's so many different 300. So anyways, let's go back here and go over what this candlestick pattern actually is. Again, this is the only thing you need to know when it comes to candlesticks. So what this is basically reversal candles with elevated volume. Okay, so if I go into this chart right here that I prepared, this is essentially what we want to see. Okay, so let's say we have a support level right here where this black line is. We want to see selling pressure on here. I didn't have room to draw it, but we want to see big selling pressure followed by a dip into our support line and a reversal candle. So basically what a reversal candle is to me was we dipped into the support, and as you can see, the candle closed at the very top of the body, okay? So it wicked all the way down and it got bought up immediately. So when we wicked down and we got bought up immediately and we closed to the very top, this tells me that buyers own this candle. Now again, just because buyers own this one candle, and this could be on a minute time frame, 2-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, doesn't matter. Just because they own one candle doesn't mean the price is going to reverse and you're going to have a really good trade. Again, you want to use it with volume. You want to follow what the big institutions are doing. So if we had aggressive selling all the way down here and we sold off, 10, 15 points on, NASDAQ or ES, whatever it is, and we had like normal volume, then all of a sudden we dipped into the support and we saw this reversal candle telling us that buyers own this candle, plus we had elevated volume. Right? What does that tell you? Not only does it tell you that buyers own this candle because of the reversal candle, but also since we had elevated volume, we had way higher volume than we did selling off that whole time, this tells me that the buyers are much bigger than the sellers, right? So when you combine those two things, that's what makes a very good confirmation. Again, you only want to take this at a key level. Okay, same thing on the flip side. Let's say we had aggressive buying on this minute, and this minute. Then we went into the resistance. As you can see, we hit the top and then boom, seller stepped in. We closed at the very bottom of this candle. What does that tell us? For one, sellers own this candle. But if we look at the volume, right, as we can see, not only did sellers own this candle, but we can tell it's big sellers own this candle. Sellers with a lot of money own this candle. And once this candle closed, right, I want to get in right after this and I can put my stop loss right above this wick. Same thing on the other side, okay? Now again, if this volume was super low, let's say it was way down here, all that tell us is sellers own this candle for 1 minute. It doesn't tell me that big sellers stepped in, right? And again, I don't want to trade with the retail. I want to trade with the big money. I want to get in right after them. So I must see this elevated volume for me to put emphasis on this reversal candle. So what I want to do now is go into the trade I took this morning that made me the $6,400. Using the exact thing I just showed you, using volume and reversal candles. Okay, this is pretty much the only confirmations I had on this trade. All right, so let's go into the charts here, and as we can see, what happened here was market open kind of in the middle of the range. We had clear support down here and clear resistance right here. So those are my levels for the day before the market even opened. By the way, guys, if you want free access to my levels every single day on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, I post them every single day inside my Discord, inside our trading plan. As you can see, this is where I share my levels. So if you guys want free access to this and be able to see my levels every single day on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, and also just join our trading community, this group is completely free and open to the public. We'd love to have you inside. So if you guys do want to join this and get access to my levels every single day, all you have to do is go to the first link in the description below this video. Okay, so once I have my levels established, the next thing I need to look for is confirmations when we're in the level. Okay, so if we look on here, the first thing we had was we came up to this resistance area, and we can see we had a clear reversal candle. Now, keep in mind, this is the second minute that the market was open, and I wasn't really able to compare the volume because the market just opened up. So this would have been, a clear trade if I had more data from the volume. Again, I was only able to compare it to the first minute of the market. So this would have been a valid trade. Again, I just didn't have enough data to actually take it. So I didn't end up taking this trade. Now, as you can see, pretty much for the next hour or so, we were super choppy. We weren't really in a level. So I was just kind of waiting until volume kicked in, until the big money kicked in, and I want to trade right with them. So eventually what happened here was we dipped into support. We didn't really see any reversal candles. We didn't see any of this, right? We want to see something like this in our support since we're dipping down here. Now, eventually what we saw was we broke this level, and this will happen all the time where we break this level. All the retail follows, they go short. And then what happens? Big money kicks in and price can reverse, and it fakes out everyone who is going short on this breakout. And that's exactly where I actually traded today. As you can see, once we broke support, we had this candle right here. And what you'll notice about this candle was it was a reversal candle because, we had a long wick down and we closed, towards the top. It wasn't a perfect reversal candle like this one was. But, it was somewhat of a good reversal candle, kind of like this, right? So the better the reversal candle looks and the higher the volume is, the higher probability it'll work, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but the better it is, the better it looks, the higher probability it'll work. So as you can see, we had a decent reversal candle, but if you look on here, look at the volume, right? This is the highest volume bar we had all day besides the first 2 minutes. And obviously the first 2 minutes are always going to have super high volume. So once I saw this super high volume right when we broke our support and we had a reversal candle indicating more buyers own this candle plus this high volume, this is where I actually entered the trade because I knew that all kinds of big money, big institutions just stepped in. They didn't want the price to go lower. And obviously I was able to put my stop loss just below this wick. So I basically had my stop loss at around 42 or so. So I only had a risk around 9 points on this trade. As you can see from there, we shot up towards VWAP, and this is where I fully exited my position where we had this aggressive selling. This is our new resistance, right? Obviously I could have made much more in this trade, but I was happy with my risk to reward. I was happy with my profit, right? And that's exactly how I was able to get in this trade. So remember, going back to what I said, the better the reversal candle looks, the longer the wick, the higher the volume is, the higher probability it'll work, right? So ideally, you want something to look like this or something like this. Again, the trade I took, it wasn't perfect, but the volume was so elevated, especially because we had all this selling, right? Think about how much selling we had. Then all of a sudden, the volume on this candle was higher than the volume was on these candles where we sold off a bunch. Again, this tells me that buyers are more in control on this level. And if buyers are more in control on this level, chances are we're going to reverse and start getting back to where we were previously, which gave me confirmation to enter the trade, right? So you always have to know about who's in control of the market. This can change at any time because at any time, a big institution can step in and buy a bunch and reverse the market, right? So you always have to think about who's in control. And again, as a day trader, what I need to do is I need to notice exactly when that flip happens, right? And I can see that flip happened right here because the high volume and buyers owning most of this candle at a key level. I saw the flip coming, I got in right away, and obviously this trade ended up working out well, right? So this is pretty much the main confirmation I look at for pretty much every trade I took. And again, I do this all from, this strategy of looking for reversal candles with elevated volume, at key levels. Okay, that's pretty important to know. So anyways, guys, this is pretty much the only candlestick pattern you really need, or at least this is the only one I use. If you're going to use candlestick patterns, again, please don't just look at the candlesticks. You think institution and hedge funds just look at candlesticks to enter billions of dollars worth of money on their trades? No, they're looking at what the buyers and sellers are doing. They're looking at who's in control of the market, and then they're following who's in control. And obviously they're able to kind of control the market a little bit better than we can, because they can move the market, right? Because they have so much money. But again, if you use this strategy using reversal candles with elevated volume at the key levels, you can spot right when they're about to flip the market. You want to get in right after them, put the stop below the wick, and ride the reversal up to our next resistance level. So anyways, guys, I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, if you want my levels every single day on the NASDAQ and S&P 500, be sure to join our free Discord community. Not only do I share my levels in here, but I also go over my trade recaps every single day. We have a community of all kinds of traders that you can network with, ask questions, share your daily profit, get your trades reviewed, all that good stuff. So again, we'd love to have you a part of our community. If you guys do want to join this, all you have to do is go to the first link in the description below, or just head over to this link right here. With that being said, guys, I hope this video was helpful, and as always, I will see you in my next video with another day trading lesson.